Word, Brokaw.
What's up, man?
Happy to have you in, man.
Yeah, likewise. You're deep in the trenches of Nashville, huh?
Shit. Man, like I was saying earlier, like I've just lived in Bellevue like my whole entire life, and this is like home for me.
Yeah.
But I'm actually thinking about moving
Where at?
to Denver.
Oh, everyone wants to go to Denver. That's like the spot.
Do you ever look at like where your listeners are from?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or where are they from? Mostly?
Man, it's been a bit since I like went to the insights and like broke it all down. But it's always some wildly random places too. Yeah, like I'll get something from like another country and it'll be like consistent. It'll be like one person that just like jamming the track like 8 times a day. And I'm like, what the hell?
I appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm like, I wish they'd hit me up because I'd love to like know like who's listening to my shit from like other countries, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be dope. But no, I know a lot of it's local, a lot of it's indie. I feel like I get a little bit more love from indie than I do Tennessee. But yeah, it's just like the surrounding states is probably the majority of my listeners.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
For me, it's like Denver
Really?
and Seattle.
Really?
And like oddly enough, if you go down the line, like Nashville is like fucking 38th on the list.
Right. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, it's so fucked up. But I don't know, even though like Nashville's like a growing city, the scene here isn't like what it should be.
It's so hard, dude, because there's so much going on here all the time.
Yeah, it's just like super expensive from what I hear to just like rent out a place and like throw a show.
Yep.
And
also, there's more people that want to DJ nowadays than that want to listen to someone DJ. And nowadays, I noticed that like there'll be like 10 people like, yo, can I play? Can I play? But there's not 10 people like, yo, can I listen? Like it's getting really like oversaturated with like people DJing. I think that's a little bit of the problem. Like,
what do you think like is the cause for that boom?
it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Dude, and I don't, it's easy to like when I first started DJing, I was DJing off my phone and I would make like full hour mixes on my phone.
Damn.
And I would,
Dedication.
some of the doubles I did, I like on my phone, I still use now, like the Back That Ass Up by Juvenile and Expand the Universe by Ellis Dream. I made that on a phone and then I like nailed it on the phone. Like I knew when to hit loop and like when to do the double. And then I do that live sometimes, and it's still some of people's like favorite double that I do. But yeah, like I started with like the phone DJ, and dude, when I first got my RX2 and my board, and I plugged the thing in, it just like it just like lit up for me, and I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever.
This is my life now.
Yeah, and I would come home on my lunch break, and like this before I ever started producing or anything, I'm just DJing, and I'm like being late to work or like taking long lunches because I'm like smacking record on this. I'm like, I'm gonna record a mix. It's gonna be the best mix ever. And like just sitting there like trying to like nail down mixes and like recording them, like going back to work and listening to like, my transitions and shit. And like
That's how you get better.
leaving comments on it and like this transition could be better. This transition could be better, you know, just like ripping my mixes. So like when I started producing, that same thing just switched over. I'm just like produce a song, work on it for like 6 hours straight, and then go to sleep, wake up before it's even like 7 a.m. I have my headphones in, and I'm like, yeah, the high end could be better here, and shit like that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
It's like the process, like listening back at work.
So, I mean, like you were saying that a lot of people are getting into DJ because it's just like so much fun. And
Yeah.
that kind of made me think of like why like Shaq is doing it, because like he doesn't need the money, right?
What did he say? Game 7 energy? Or something? Yeah, like it gives them that same feeling.
I know
Yeah.
exactly what he means.
Yeah,
right?
dude. Before I go out, like I used to fight MMA. So like when I am about to DJ, and it's so fucking silly, but I'm literally like bouncing around like I'm about to go fight in a cage, and I'm have to tell myself like, yo, dude, chill. Like you're just mixing songs together. But like that's why like I think I dance so much is because I hype myself up beforehand. I'm just like nervous, like I'm nervous as hell, and then I go up there and all that nervous energy just comes out and me trying as hard as I can. Like I'm like, I need to make this set the best possible, and the only way to do that is good mixing, good stage presence, and like make sure the sound guys are doing their shit. Like so I'm like talking to the sound guys before, like, hey, so how's everything sounding?
Well, dude, like yeah, that's something that I have like heavily like taken a note from. I've heavily taken a note from you, like your stage presence.
Oh,
like,
hell yeah.
That's something that I still need to work on, but like I've noticed like your stage presence is fucking awesome. Like you're up there,
it catches people,
and like everyone's feeling it. Like they see you feeling the music, and that, like, invigorates them.
You kind of teach them how to dance to the shit, like because man, if you're making like a DJ mix, right, and you're finding yourself skipping through songs, like let's say you have a mix and you're just like, I'll skip to the transition, and then you probably should work on your mix because, excuse me, if you're skipping it while you're working on it, that means you're not interested in it. So like I try to get my mixes to where I'm like, I want to listen to this part, and then I'll just make no fat in them, and after that I'll just have them so planned out that I'm actually able to dance and fucking put more into the stage presence part of things, because I know all these transitions like the back of my hand. So it's not like I'm live, like I'm like, wait for it, boom, okay.
It's like second nature, so you can like focus more of like being in the moment.
Yeah, Tofe said something one time. He goes, and I always did this, but I never thought about it. He goes, you have to like make a dance for like each drop so people in the crowd know what to do. So like whatever the song is, if it's like, you know, one of those big like bass songs, it's usually just this or like this. But like if it's that weird shit, like you see, like I'll do like little hand stuff, and the next thing you know, like halfway through the drop, I see the whole audience just like wah, like just doing the same hand thing. So yeah, that's something Toadface talked about one time that I was just like, yeah, you're right. Because when I see a DJ like doing a certain like movement to the song, I'm like, I'm gonna do that. Like, you know, it just kind of gets you attached. Like it makes you vibe with it.
So, how long have you been like DJing for?
So Okeechobee 2018 is when I started getting into it hard. And then I think I started DJing on my phone around Okeechobee 2018. And I think I got my board in like, what year is it now? So probably like 20, it was before COVID. Yeah, I know that like I've been DJing for probably a few years longer than I've been producing, and I've been producing for like 2.5 years. But yeah,
that's really surprising.
Yeah,
I would feel like you've been doing it longer just because like you're such a good DJ.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
for real.
I think I put in as many hours as some people that's been doing it for a long time. Because I'm kind of psychotic when it comes to that. Like if I don't have my son, I literally work an 8-hour shift, come home, grab an energy drink, and just sit at my computer, whether it's DJing a mix until daytime, nighttime, and then like I'm pushing like till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. when I shouldn't be when I got to work the next day. Just because like my mind goes, and then like it sparks a new idea, and I'm like, and then you just keep like finding new ideas, you know?
Yeah.
So
next thing you know, it's like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. Like, fuck, man, I'm going to be so tired tomorrow. But yeah, dude, I think it's just about hours put in. It's about putting in the hours on the right things, because I've done it. Everyone's done it. I'm sure there's so many sessions where you put 4 hours into something that's not going to serve you at all in the future. Like, for sure. And I just have good homies, good friends, good producer friends. I had good DJ friends that were just like, yo, like do this, like try this, spend time on this. And so I had less wasted time. Like I wasn't just in there fucking around. Like I was actually like already in a Discord group where they were like having make a song a month challenge. And I just started producing. I'll make a song a month. Like that sounds impossible. And like I would force it. It would suck. But like I would have a full song like every month. And dude, just from like every time just forcing the song out. I'm like, and I wasn't releasing them because they sucked. And I would just send them to the Discord homies, and they were just, I'd have like 20 comments on my track, just like, try this, try this, try this. So it's just like, I think when you're getting into something like that, you just got to find people you admire, or like find a good like group, and, you know, as politely as you can, kind of like intervene with them. Like, you know, just like get in there and be like, hey man, like, can I join? Like, can I tag along with what y'all are doing? And that's kind of what I did with the Discord group, man. And I think that it saved me like a year or two of like just being in the DAW, being like, oh, what the fuck is this? Like,
I remember those, like
the worst.
Back when I first started, it would take me like a month to like finish a song. And now I can get a song knocked out in like 80% through in like a day.
Yeah, those are the best. They're always the best songs when you do them that way.
Yeah, just fresh off the dome, not overthinking it. And think that's the way to go.
Yeah, just laying it down, dude. Because it's what's hard about going back to songs is like that song was an expression of how you were feeling in that moment. And trying to go back, because you'll never feel that way again. That same exact way that you felt in that exact same time. Like, so 4 days later, trying to go back and work on that song, it's not going to be the same.
That's
like
true.
you're not going to feel that way. So I really try to get all the writing done in one day because I know I'm never going to feel this way again. Like I got to get this written out. I can mix. The mixing when it comes to feeling, like, yeah, the feeling when it comes to like the mix down, but it's not writing. You just kind of like listen to the way shit intermingles with each other and you're like, oh, okay, this feels good. Like, so yeah, I'll take a long time on the mixes and masters, but yeah, all my writing, I try to get that shit done in a day. And maybe like a day and then a lunch break and change the next day. Like I'll come home on lunch break and like try to hurry up and knock shit out or something, you know?
So you've written how many EPs right now?
So only one's out. I wrote one EP and it's out. That was Hood Tales. I released that on my birthday, January, and I had like 5 songs. And I have like 4 EPs. I'm just like sitting on like in the back burner. I have the Hood Tales remix too, which was, you were on it, bro. There's so many good tracks on that. Like I was blown away because I was like, I'll probably get one for each song, you know, and then I'll just pick my favorite one. Dude, I have like 20 and I was just, these are so good. Like, and I was like telling people that had good tracks. I'm like, sorry, dude. Like I want to pick you. Please go release your remix for the smacks. But I'm already like reaching and picking 2 a song.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to like cut it down to 10 songs. And even that 10 songs is so much. But yeah, so the next EP I'm releasing actually is in a few weeks. I'm dropping a single September 15th, which I think is the best song I've ever written. And then I'm dropping the rest of the EP, which is 2 more songs the week after that.
That's what's up, dude. I'm excited to hear it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I've been sitting on it. It was the first song I played in my Soundhaven set. It's been like the fan favorite too. It seems like everyone likes that song the most. So the other 2 songs are collabs actually. Like one with my buddy Isaac Flowers. He goes by Anther, and we've been working on that song for way too long. Like we've been just sending that shit back and forth. And then the other song is with my buddy that I do jiu-jitsu with and shit. He actually started rapping just like for fun. Like, and then he like came over one day and like spit bars and I'm just like, Jesus, dude, I mean, you are good. And they're like, really? You think so? And he went to a recording studio, sent me some shit while he was in Oregon, and I wrote a song in it like a day. So I'll be dropping that song too. So it feels really good, man, because like all my really close homies, like I have one song that I think is my best song, and then I have 2 other songs on there that mean so much to me, and they're all like 64 to 70 BPM, just dark kind of bangers.
Hell yeah.
Dude. I like the theme.
How long did it take you to kind of write this EP?
So, man, I didn't really know what songs were going to be on the EP, and I wasn't really focused on this being the EP. I wrote Where They At, and which is this single that's going to be released on the 15th, I think. But I wrote Where They At in like 2 days, and I could tell like everyone really liked it when I was showing up my Discord buddies. And then, so I've just been really like sitting on that one, and then bringing it back. I think we worked on for a few months. Me and Isaac have been sending that back and forth. Honestly, like that was going to be a throwaway song. Like I wrote it and I'm like, man, I like it, but I don't like it enough. And I sent it to Isaac. I'm like, yo, can you do something with this? And he switched up the second drop and made that shit sound like super good. And then he sent it back to me and I added some vocals, and it just came together really nicely. So man, I would say between all 3 of these songs, I was writing these songs like 6-7 months ago. So yeah, I've had them done for a while. I just haven't released them.
Word.
Yeah.
Well, have you thought about like an album yet? Potentially, like when that can happen?
Yeah, if I make an album, it's gonna be perfect, and I don't even think I'm gonna make an album. Like it's so many good songs are gonna get lost in the sauce in this day and age. If I make an album, like I'm gonna put my whole heart into it, and then people are gonna listen to the first song. They're gonna listen to a little bit of the second song, and then they're going to get distracted, and then they're going to go do something. And then maybe if people really fuck with it, they're going to come back and like listen to the rest of it. But like, I think to really get maximum viewing on anything, like for each song, you got to have like a whole story behind it to really like make people dig it, or it's not even gonna, it's gonna just get lost in the sauce. So, man, as much as my roots, you know, you listen to albums back in the day, I listen to albums back in the day. Like people used to release full albums, but now I just don't know if that's the move anymore.
But here's what I've noticed is that like artists like Sully, right? You just opened up for him, like on Thursday.
Thursday.
Like he released his album or EP, and then like he got a tour. Ravenscoon, he released part of his album, and he got a tour.
Yeah,
and it seems like the album is like what's going to like get you a tour for some reason. That's like some sort of correlation I've seen.
I wonder if that if those two things relate. Like, I wonder if those two are like coincidences where they're like, oh, I think it would just be nice for me to release this album before my tour. I think most people do that. Like,
maybe
Yeti didn't do that. He played out his whole tour without releasing his new album and then released his new album, which is pretty different. Most people do like release an album and then go on tour. So I think it's just a choice, like maximize their album and maximize that. You know, those two play off each other. People listen to my album, they want to see me on tour. People see me on tour, they want to listen to my album.
That makes sense.
So even with that, I think instead of having 10 songs, that's an album, I would make 3 songs and like build visualizers and like stories behind each one, really invest my time in like, okay, what's the story behind this song? Just, bro, honestly, I love music, but even me, I can't listen to like 10, I can't listen to a full album anymore. I think the last full album I listened to I listened to the Old Odetta album the other day, and I'll still listen to Old Flume albums, but other than that, dude, yeah, so good. But other than that, dude, I don't listen to full albums. Like,
bro, Evan, do you fuck with him at all?
Evan's
he just released his album. Have you heard of that?
No. Oh, dude, I thought I heard teaser tracks from it.
Yeah, he released a few teasers.
They're fire.
Dude,
man, I'll check that out for sure.
Dude,
he's always groundbreaking.
I gotta put this down for a second. Like, that album is one of the best EDM albums I've ever heard.
Really? How many
in
songs?
My whole entire life. It's like 12 or 13.
Really?
And like on my way back from Atlanta, I just listened to the whole thing twice.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same position as you. Like, I don't really listen to albums anymore like I used to. But this album is, I feel like it's up there. It has to be one of the best albums I've ever heard in my whole entire life.
That's awesome, dude. I'll be checking that out tonight.
Got to.
Yeah, that's dope.
Got to. It is so fucking good, man. Like, I feel so inspired after listening to
love that, dude. Do you reference tracks?
Yes.
That's saved me so many years.
Yeah, for sure. It's like getting the structure down, getting like a brief, like little idea going. Yeah. You know?
Those songs that would crack you up that obviously I don't even release or share. But when I first started producing, I was literally copying and reproducing songs. Like, I would take a Vector song and I would literally make it. Like, with just rewrite the drums, rewrite the basses, rewrite that. And those songs that sound exactly like Vector, like that I've made, that like I made a Nightcap bootleg where it sounds like all the notes are right there. It doesn't sound mixed or mastered as well. But that like saved me a lot of time. So I'm literally copying everything. I'm not being creative at all. I'm copying. I'm like,
see, I think if I listen to the song that you like copied off of, like, I bet you I wouldn't even like be able to tell.
So the thing is like, if you reference a track that you intend on putting out, you can't just be copying, obviously. Like, it has to be your own. But I'm saying for like learning purposes, bro, try to rewrite like your favorite song. Like, take one of those effing songs, figure out the BPM, put it in Ableton, do the little locator marks for the structure, start with the drop, try to write that drop, and it's going to be hard. And
I tried to do that with Mercif's Ghost, and that's how I made the song Spirals.
Nice.
But like, it just came out like
a good song, by the way. I dig that one a lot.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it just came out like so different. Like,
I
don't know, like, I feel like you can try to copy a song, but it's never going to be like what you are like going for. It's not.
If you're going to be creative, then not. Like, you know, If your intention is to copy the song exactly how it's done, then obviously it's going to sound just like the song. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm sure you dragged it in, kind of looked at the structure, looked at like the drum pattern, and then just got an idea. Next thing you know, you're writing a new song. Yep. Like, oh, he brought the vocals in here, brought some bass in here. Like, yeah, that's how I like reference songs now. I usually reference the structure, like drop 1 B, and I'll just like try to get that shit looking organized. That way, I'm never just scratching my head like I'm always like, yeah, let's go to the intro section, mm-hmm. and I'll just turn on the loop feature on Ableton, and I'll just do like 8 bars at a time. Listen to those 8 bars, drag it, listen to those 8 bars, and then if something doesn't sound good in those 8 bars, I'll get this 8 bars sounding as good as possible, drag it, and then just really like focus on.
It's really the way to go.
Yeah,
it just saves you so much fucking time, and that's something that I wish someone would have told me back in like 2015 when I first started.
Yeah, you're like, just doing random shit.
Just use a reference song. Just fucking use a reference song.
Yeah, it feels so much like at first you're like, man, am I just copying? It's like, well, if you're copying, you know you're copying. Like you won't feel comfortable releasing the song. Like, yeah, but getting inspiration, like all songs have a formula. Like every song that's ever been made there's been something made like it before. There's been a drum pattern that 100%. Matches it. Like there's been something that matches that. So yeah, I don't feel bad for any of it. Like I use samples. Me too. Yeah, I use all of it, dude. Like, and if someone ever has anything to say about like the samples, I'm like, all right, well, use that exact same sample and make a better song than me. And then it's like, you can't. Okay, then I think that was more me than the sample. Yeah, it's like the Pine Box, bro. That was my most popular song, and it is a sample song that I made like 2 or 3 years ago.
For real?
Yeah. It's like
when I first heard it, dude, like you sent it to me when it was still private.
Yeah.
And I remember like I was scrolling through it, I listened to all the songs, and then Pine Box said, I was like, this is the one.
Yeah.
This is the one.
I spent a lot of time on that sub bass. And
it's funny, like you didn't even like tell me it was like your most popular one.
Yeah.
Like, everyone just has like the same conclusion, I guess.
Everyone dug that one the most, and I thought it was the worst song on the EP. I was like, yeah, I guess I gotta release this one. It's a good song, like, but it's definitely like not my best work. And man, I appreciate it a lot more now. Like I see why people like it. I'm like, oh, the atmosphere is really nice. The drum smack and the sub is really thick in that one. And so I get it, but it drives me crazy. Because like the cello in the beginning, it's just one big ass Cashmere sample. Like like the main motif, it's just a big ass Cashmere sample. And I'm surprised like more people haven't been like, yo, that's a Cashmere sample, but no one does. And when I show it to them, they crack up. They're like, wow, you just like drug that sample in and like use that as like the bass line of your song or like the motif of your song. And it's like, yeah,
it works.
It works. Like, and if you use that sample and make a better song, like those samples are out there for a reason.
That's true.
Like if you're taking the sample and you're chopping it up and it sounds worse just because you want to do something with it, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. It sounds worse now. Like, yeah, it's weird when people hunt for a really long time to find like a good sample and then they do a whole bunch of processing to it. And you're just like, it already sounded good, man. Like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah, I, for the longest time, was against using samples. And my friend, Funk the Empire, formerly known as Midichlorian, he finally convinced me to start using them, and then like it's been a game changer.
Yeah,
100% a game changer. My songs are 100 times better. I don't know why I was just like so stuck in like everything has to be original.
Yeah, bro, it's like, all right, build your doll then if everything has to be original. Yeah, like build the doll from scratch then.
Build the doll. Make all your drums from scratch.
Build the computer.
Everything.
If you're not singing the song, I ain't listening. Like, bro, we talked about that a bunch, and I'm glad that I was in like the Discord group I was in when I first started, because they just fast forwarded me through all that shit. Like, hey, yo, use samples. Like, hey, yo, copy songs. Like all the shit that people like, I don't know, some people get shit for, some people feel subconscious about. They just broke that from the start with me. They're like, no, like do that. And dude, when I'm feeling like uninspired, I produce every day. Like, and when I'm feeling uninspired, I scroll through my Splice samples, and then there's always like that 8-bar loop that you're just like, this sounds so good.
Yeah, build something.
Yeah, so I would literally take that, put it in my song, and I'll just duplicate for a long time. And like, so now like whatever it is, let's say it's a pad or it's whatever the fuck, it's like, it's in the whole song. And what I do is I get this reference and I like mark where my drops are going to be. And then I like build my drums and my like bass line, but this pad is going through the whole song. And what I'll do is like at the beginning, let's say the pad is like all the way in, but for the drops, I have it high passed here. But when it goes back into the break, the high pass sweeps back in. And so that thing's gluing the whole song together. Like it's always in there, whether I pitch bend it to make it match shit, or if I filter it out where you can barely hear it. Like you don't even know it's in there, but you feel that it's in there. Yeah, that's something that I do where I'll just find like the coolest sample and I'll just duplicate and like this will be my glue for the song.
Oh,
yeah, and that works really well. And it helps me get out of like a fucking pinch where I'm just like, I don't know what to fucking do. Like if I can't think of anything myself, I just find something that inspires me. I'm like, either a song, I'll reference a song, but lately I just reference samples. Like I find a sample, I'm like, oh, this is dope. And then make a song off of it.
I wanted to ask you, how did your show go when you opened up for Sully?
Oh, dude, that was cool. Yeah, that dude's so nice. Like he came up to me and he's like, "Hey, man," like introduced himself to me, and I didn't want a lot of people were like talking to him, so I didn't want to like go up there and be like, "Hey, man, like I'm Brokaw," and like try to introduce myself. But no, bro, he went out of his way and introduced himself to me. I had to work the next day at like 6 a.m. So I ended up, all my friends watched the dude after Sully Hound. I went slept in the car because I had to work at 6 a.m. But they apparently hung out with Sully and talked to Sully, and like they were like talking about my set. Everyone that talks about Sully talks about how good of a guy he is. Like, so
yeah, that was like a really dope person.
Yeah, super cool dude. His set fucking smashed. I was really happy with how my set went. Like I was able to like really get everyone to the front. Like cool. It was kind of spread out a little bit. And then when I played, I noticed I got everyone huddled up, kind of like how I'm used to, like up front. I'm like, fuck yeah. Like I see this one dude losing his mind up front the whole time, throwing punches in the air. And I'm just like, fuck yeah. Like that's what I need. And then bro, like 4 of my friends went with me too. Like did the trip there and went back. And it's sick. I had like 4 homies with like Brokaw shirts up front. And dude,
it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, just the homies showed out. Like it's so fucking cool, man. Like that kind of shit. I'm like, I'm not worthy. Like that shit's so cool to me, dude.
It's awesome. You're showing like gratitude for it. Like,
yeah,
I feel like not everyone would do that, but
dude, I can't believe it. Like honestly, like you see like 4 friends that are willing on a weekday to drive up to Indy and drive back, and I'm just like, y'all are fucking so sweet. And then they pick me up from my house, and when they do, they're all wearing Brokaw shirts, and I'm like, I honestly am uncomfortable because I don't know how to express the gratitude that I'm feeling. Like I'm just like, oh, nice shirts. But really, I'm like, this is amazing.
I'm sure you have or you will like pay back.
Yeah, they know how much it means to me because I'll end up like messaging them, like giving them like, but like in the moment, I'm just like, man, I feel so much gratitude that I don't even know how to express it. Like, appreciate y'all. That's about all I can say. Like, but yeah, dude, Evansville people are fucking cool. Honestly,
dude,
like
y'all have a awesome culture and like community.
Yeah.
Every single time I've been up there, like y'all are so nice and like everyone's like so supportive. And I never don't like shout y'all out. Like, whenever I have a chance, like I always like we talk about you on this podcast like all the time, by the way.
Okay, dude. I have so much pride in Evansville. Like everyone in Evansville's like, fuck Evansville. People love to talk shit about their hometown, and there's bad shit about Evansville. We're talked about on Joe Rogan sometimes, and like there's some bad things, but man, I like it. Like my friends like are so good at DJing. Like Jesse Scarborough, Tug. I've been watching him DJ before I started DJing, and there's pictures of me before I ever started, just like taking pictures of the Tugs, and it's just. That dude would just smash. Like, he just smashes every set he ever plays.
He's the man.
Yeah, he's so good. And then Mikey, he's just like on the come up, dude, where he's like a young kid and he's always been good, bless you. He's always been good. But yeah, that dude's just on another level. Like, I can see it in him. He's just like putting everything together. And then we got like the Paralestial girls. We got Dizzy and Black, Jesse Green. Like, all those people, man, like, even the people that aren't talked about as much from Evansville, I'm like, I put our Evansville DJs up against like so many people. I have so much pride in like how good our DJs are, because I had to show out among them. Like for me to show out in Evansville, I had to be better than, or try to be better than all of them. Mm-hmm. And it's not easy. Like I've been showed up by Mikey like before, and like where I played, or like Mikey played and I played after him, and I just could not keep up with what he did. And that shit's humbling, bro. It's just like, fuck, new kid fucking showed me up on that one. Like I gotta
step my game up.
Yeah, I gotta step it up, dude. And so yeah, dude, I love the Evansville scene. I'm taking a break from playing there just because I've been hearing a little bit of rumblings how they're like, Corey gets every show, and I'm just like,
well, no shit.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even want to play every show. Like I just get asked, and I say yes because I need the money, and also I like DJing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm like, man, I need to just force myself to stop playing in Evansville. Because one, bro, people walk out during my sets because they've seen me so many times in my hometown. I'll go to Indy and I'll play a set that just have people like losing their shit. I'll play that same set in Evansville, and bro, people do not give a shit. Like, and you know, no fault of their own. They're just chilling. Like they've seen me so many times. I'll be back next weekend. You know, so they're like, oh, I'll take Corey next weekend. Like, so yeah,
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm trying to take a break from that, dude. Like, I may come back and play Evansville again at some point, but yeah, I think it would be good for me to like let some other people that are just murderers and on the decks get the shine. Yeah, and then me just be more strict with me not taking Evansville shows. I'm like,
it'll increase your value.
Yeah, I'm like, I can only
increases your value.
Yeah,
so I saw online, and I totally agree with that.
And also, it'll make me reach out and get out of town gigs more, because I do pretty good about that. I'm a good booking agent for myself, but I'll do it even more now that I'm not playing in my hometown. It's so easy in my hometown. When I come play, sure. But like with getting out of town gigs, you know, there's contracts and there's so much shit that goes into it. So I've been like trying to like nail down every part of the scene. I saw you tweet about it the other day. How much stuff that goes into like being a DJ. You're a producer sometimes. You're a DJ. You're a booking agent. You're a promoter. Like you're your own promoter. There's another job in there too. You're your own manager if you don't have one. Like you gotta like figure out what gigs are good for you, and like, yeah, dude.
Social media.
Yeah, all of it, man. Just trying to check off all those boxes.
It's so much hard work.
It's hard, dude. It's hard as fuck. And it's easy to just do it. Like it's easy to just DJ. It's hard to stand out. Like,
because there's so many talented people out there,
right? Like,
you know, like everyone's good. Pretty good, right?
Yeah, everyone's good. Like, I hardly hear bad sets anymore. Like, everyone plays good sets. Like, you know, I'm a critical person, so I'm just like ripping every set alive in my head. But it gets harder and harder to rip sets alive just because they're like they're good. Yeah. So. Yeah, there just has to be that extra thing, which just you taking your shit more seriously, like hiring people like to do your visuals, hiring maybe talk to the sound guy beforehand, give him a little bit of money. Like, hey man, we like just make sure my shit sounds good. And yeah, all of that, dude. Like I just try to think about every part of the experience. Like
there's a lot that goes into it. Like,
yeah,
the money factor too. Like it's not a cheap hobby. You know,
not at all.
Yeah, like a lot of this stuff, especially like even when you make it, you know, like I feel like people like Ravenspoon's level or like Sully, like they're funding a lot of their own shit.
Yeah,
it comes out of their own pocket, and they'll make it back. But I feel like that's what kind of like deters people from like getting into this, you know, because there is like a monetary like threshold that you have to meet to be able to do this stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure, and like. Well, unless you get your DJ phone app and you make some sick doubles on there, bro. I think if you want to do anything, I don't know if this is very like buckle up your bootstraps type of mentality, but I feel like if you want to do anything, you can do it. Like regardless of how much money you have. Like I don't know, I downloaded a phone app and DJ'd off my phone for 1.5 years, and then would plug it into Bluetooth speakers, and then would feel even cooler because now I'm DJing on my phone through speakers and like. Yeah, I think if you really want to do it, you'll find out a way, you know, or like
where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, Eric, and my son, dude, he's playing this game called Singing Monsters, and you build an island. Each of these monsters are their own sample, and like you make songs out of like putting different monsters. So like my son comes up to me, he's 7 years old, writing bangers on this island, just like there'll be a monster like drumming on his stomach, and then another monster singing, and I'm like, that's pretty good. I'm like, I'd mute that one. Like that monster doesn't sound that good, but all the rest are sounding good. And dude, it's crazy. Like
that's awesome that you're like getting him into stuff so young.
I didn't even mean to. He found that, and he's just like, "Is this
cool?"
He's like, "Is this better than your music?" And I'm like, "Better than a lot of my music." I'm like, "I don't think it's better than what I'm working on right now, though." Like,
so I saw on Twitter that you tweeted something about your like competitive nature.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not at peace unless I'm trying to be the best at something.
And I kind of like resonated with that because it's like, well, at the point that I'm getting at now, I just feel like I just want to be the best that I possibly can.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I remember the competitive nature, like back whenever I was like playing sports in high school.
Yep.
You know, or this is really nerdy. I remember back in like elementary school. Do y'all ever have like AR?
Yeah, what is that again?
It's like you read books, you take tests, and you get points off of it.
Yes, okay, you get AR points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
I was so fucking competitive in elementary school. Like I used to read so fucking much.
You would get prizes though. And shit.
Yeah, you get prizes, get good like pizza parties.
Yeah. That's funny. I totally forgot about that. Hell yeah, bro. I bet you've been killing it on the AR points.
So I'm just trying to like remember that feeling and like bring it into my music, and yeah, I'm trying to use that, and I feel like your competitive nature is going to take you places for sure. Like you're already in places, and I see it, and I see you hustling.
Appreciate you, man.
Honestly, like it's so good to have people like you around because like iron sharpens iron.
Yeah,
you know, like you want people that are going to like push you to be better, right?
Yeah.
I see Sickish like grinding, putting out songs. I'm like, fuck, I got to put out songs too. Like, I got to be grinding.
Exactly, dude. Like, and the game don't wait on anyone. Like, we only, we only pay attention to what's going on. People that are doing cool shit. So I just try to do shit that I think's cool, and then I'm an obsessive person. Like, anything I get onto, I'm going to just go balls to the wall. That to the point of diminishing returns, dude. I'll get depressed from it. I'll get sad. I'll overdo it to the point I hate it. I go a little too hard with it sometimes, but that is what it takes. Like, in my opinion, like if you want to be like everyone else, go do what everyone else does. But if you want to be different, then be different. Like, I don't think anyone there's a few people I bet out there that put in the hours, but yeah, I have this very much like no one works harder than me attitude. Same when I was fighting, I'm just like I'm training before work, on my lunch break, and after work, and I'm going home and stretching. I'm like, there's no way anyone's working hard with me. I'm like, I'm gonna beat everyone up, and that's how I feel with music. And then I find people I like within the scene who are training partners. Kind of how like when you fight, like you would fight your friends to get better. Now, like I find people like you, like Sickish, like my whole hometown people, where it's like I'll like release a song and I'm like yeah, I gotta step it up a little, you know, like you just like
it's good for everyone.
Yeah, you just find those people that you are competing with, but in a very friendly way, where I'll even be honest with it. I'm just like, yeah, fuck, like yeah, I'm like I need to work on my mid basses, you know, like I'll hear something and I'm like okay, gotcha, like I need to work on this. But yeah, dude, it's always that like mentality of just like I'm not the best yet, but like this will work. Like I'm just 100% positive that if I keep doing what I'm doing, I don't know what'll happen, and I don't even think I have a goal. Honestly, I don't think I have a goal. I think my goal is just to be really fucking good, but like make music that I like people that I admire. I want to make music that's better than theirs, that I like even more. And yeah, I think that having having a goal to like look forward to is good, but I just kind of go with the flow and like really enjoy like being in the moment. Like I don't live in the moment very well, but when I'm producing, I am in the moment. Like I am only reacting about what's going on in front of me. And yeah, dude, it makes me feel so good. Like that's when I'm the happiest. Same when like I was training, like I was never happier than when I was on the mats. Yeah, when I was on the mats, dude, I'm just like, this is everything to me. Like, yeah, same when I'm producing. I'm just like, even when I hate it, like a buddy with me, I want to go to a bar, and I'll be 6 hours into a session. Like my brain will be like, yes, and like my body won't move, and I'll just be like, and I'll just keep producing just because, yeah, dude, that's how much I like it. I can't imagine shit being more fun than that.
Yeah.
I've been broke up with because I produced too much, dude.
For real?
Yeah, dude, that's how
that comes with it.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. Like, women deserve attention, and like I was giving the computer attention, and it's what it takes though. That's like what it takes, dude, because everyone usually gets a girl and they drift off a little bit, and then they get married, and love that for them. They're happy, but everything else takes a backseat, and I just wasn't ready to put myself in the back seat yet. Yeah. I'm just like, yeah.
It's your number one goal, you know?
Yeah. It's like, love you and all, but I got to put in 7 hours a day after I work 8-hour days at work on this, or I'm not going to be as good as I want to be.
I'm pretty lucky to be in a relationship where, my girlfriend's like very supportive.
Very chill and supportive about shit.
Yeah. Sometimes she complains that
you gotta get a little.
And I understand where she's coming from. I am like constantly grinding. It doesn't matter like what I'm doing. I'm always grinding.
Yeah, always up here. You're always.
But I think we're just like wired that way as like men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we have to be working towards something, or we'll be unhappy.
Yeah, dude, it's so true. Like,
but it's also funny at the same time. It's like working so hard. Like sometimes makes me like super fucking depressed. I'm just like, fuck. I just need like a few days. You know, maybe like a week to just like decompress and like chill.
Dude, I'm glad that I have my son, because I can imagine just like watching TV to watch TV. Like that just sounds crazy to me. Like I'm like all the time you're wasting watching TV just blows me away. But I watched SpongeBob with him, and it's super good for me. But I'm like, this is all he wants, is for me to be next to him watching SpongeBob right now, and actually paying, not on my phone down, reacting to what SpongeBob says. Like, this is all this kid wants. And it is so mindless for me, and it's everything that I need. Because if I didn't have him, I would do that until I fell asleep at my chair, and I'd have some bad sessions. I would never decompress. But nah, dude, it's like,
it's a blessing.
Yeah, dude, 50% of my week, I have him, and I'll still produce when I have him, but it's never like focused producing. I know when I have him, it's going to be like, maybe I'll do 3 minutes of work, and it's like, hey, I'm like, what's up? I'm thirsty. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Or like, hey, you gotta come watch this? And so it's good to have him to like drag me away from the grind and just like
naturally take breaks like that.
Yeah, and I don't feel bad for it either, because I'm like, this kid loves that I'm watching SpongeBob with him right now. But if I was watching SpongeBob by myself, bro, I'm like, you're a piece of shit. Like, you need to get to the grind.
Man, that's how I kind of feel about like playing video games. Like my favorite video game is Madden. It just came out like a month ago.
Look out!
I'm not playing this year because
we won't see you.
Yeah, basically, like if I start playing Madden, then I'm gonna put down fucking music for fucking 3 months, feel behind, but yeah, like I just feel bad when I play video games now. It's just like, fuck, I could be doing so many different things.
I stopped playing Warzone. I got into Warzone for a bit. Around the same time I bought my computer to produce, I got Warzone, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna. Not only am I gonna like switch to PC on Warzone, I'm gonna be producing, and this will be cool. And I noticed once I got into producing, I'm just like I was seeing people in like my Discord group where they were getting distracted by video games, and I'm just like, I want to be better than you guys, so I'm going to take that distraction out. And then once I took it out, I couldn't ever imagine bringing it back. Like, and there's other Discords where like Discord has like these games now where they have like putt, like where you can like play with your Discord homies. And dude, it's funny how like putt got in the way of our production for a little bit, because we would just get in the chats, and I'm like, we produce every day, and producing on Discord with the homies is cool, but it's a grind. Like, you're not just laughing and having fun. It's just you're listening to a dude make sounds for a long time, and there's not a whole lot of talking. And so we want a break, so I'm like, you want to play some putt? Bro, there was like a month straight where I don't know if we produced. We were just like fucking playing putt on the Discord game. So yeah, I just said it out loud. I'm like, putt's gonna be the death of us. And I'm like, Putt kind of ruined my music career.
Did y'all put it down?
And I did. I put it down immediately after that. It was a joke, but I usually like say stuff jokingly to like make myself like, hey man, like I'm kind of over exaggerating that this is going to be the death of you, but you're clearly not producing as much as you were. It's time to like, stop playing putt. Like,
and then also like, I'm sure you feel this, but like whenever you're playing like video games, whether it be like Call of Duty or like a sports game, that competitive nature comes back.
Right? Oh yeah.
And you're like,
and for what?
Like, I don't want to lose, so I need to put more time into this.
Yeah.
But it's really not worth it.
Right. Like, for what? Yeah, dude. Because I was sniping the hell out of people when I was on Warzone. I was getting like really good. And I was like, or not really good compared to like really good people, but I thought I was getting really good. And I just remember the feeling I get when I would show someone a snipe I did on my phone, and the feeling I'd get when I'd send someone a song was not comparable. Like, I was like, look at the snipe I did. Okay, I feel like a loser for showing you that. And then like, oh, look at this song I made.
Bro, you probably weren't following me back then, but yeah, like I would just post Madden highlights like all the time on my fucking Instagram. You could ask my girlfriend. I got heavy into the Madden.
Oh, dude, that's funny.
They used to have like this one mode or this one, I don't know, like category of like tournaments, but you could be ranked by like the state that you play in.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and
so
I was like in the top 20.
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna
in Tennessee.
Yeah,
so like I was super heavy into it, but I was like,
you'd have like a flag wrapped around you as you're playing, and you're just like have so much pride.
I was being like top 100 people in the world. Dude.
Yeah,
like, it got fucking serious. So then, like it just got to the point where I was like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. This is not aligning with my goals.
Yeah,
I gotta put it down.
So right, and when you do, it's pretty easy, but it's funny because I miss it sometimes, dude. Like, I'm like, man, I want to play Tony Hawk's Underground again. Like, I want to just like,
everyone loves video games.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So every now and then I'll hit, like, I bought Oddworld. You remember that PlayStation 1 game? This old PlayStation 1 game I played with my dad when I was like 6. Thanks, man. But yeah, I bought Oddworld on the old version of it, and I was playing that for like a day or two. And after the nostalgia just went away after the first day, I'm like, okay, back to producing.
So where do you see your project in like 2 or 3 years? Like, where do you want to be?
2 or 3 years, I'd like to be playing Waweetalkinbout Festival. I'd like to be playing Imagine. I'd like to be playing Secret Dreams, if that's still around. So some festivals that I admire, I would like to play on those in the next 2 years. I would say, like, I'd like to at least have Brokaw reaching out to me. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm pretty fucking weird about releasing on labels. I would release on Brokaw.
What's your thing against it?
It's I think that I take a lot from the YouTube and like the podcaster culture, where all these people are going on other people's radio stations for the longest time to promote themselves. And they're like doing interviews they don't want to do on platforms that aren't hyping them up. And then all of a sudden these guys figured it out. Like, oh, we're just going to make a YouTube channel, get sponsors, and do everything ourselves. And man, once I saw that, I was just like, why is a Brokaw song on blah, blah, blah? Like, why are people having to go to blah, blah, blah to find a Brokaw song? Like, if I really have that much belief in myself, like, what am I doing? Like, I need everything to be on my page or on my homies page that I collab with. And so like, I'll have homies like, yo, what do you think about releasing this on a label? And I'm just like, I would rather not. Like, if you really want to, then sure. But yeah, I'm just like, why? Yeah, and I'm always just like, what's your reason for it? Like, here's my reasoning for why I don't release with labels. Because in the long run, like, I put all my heart and soul into this, and I'm just going to give it to someone because they're going to give me more followers. It's like, no, I don't want followers. Like, I want my shit exactly how I want it. Mm-hmm. Like,
you want full control.
Yeah. And like, I talk to homies where they're like, yeah, I got this really cool label release, but look at the artwork they're making me use. Look at the artwork I had. It's so much better, but they're making me use this. And I'm just like, he's like, but I've been wanting to release on their label, so I'm going to do it. And I'm just like, more proof, like more reasons why it just proves my point. I'm just like, yep, why don't I listen to labels? And I get why they do. Like, and I'm not against it. I released my whole collective, like, just because I love those dudes. Like, I think they're all really good dudes.
Yep.
But yeah. So
I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
There's like I'm torn because like I want to reach out to some labels, but at the same time, it's like, okay, so say this song blows up, they're gonna get all the money for all the streams. Okay, I don't get a cent out of that. I get exposure, but like how much?
Right.
And how much compared to if I release it myself and just promote the fuck out of it?
Right.
Then
Exactly.
people are coming to my page, like you were saying.
Yeah, that's all you.
Yeah. So like I see where you're coming from, especially like when you're talking about like podcasts like YouTube.
Everyone's doing their own shit.
I feel like you can do it on your own. I definitely do. And I almost feel, especially like nowadays, that you should try to do it on your own because you have to jump through like so many loops. Like say you get signed to a label, say you get signed to a client. They're telling you when you're releasing your song or album. Like you can't even release it when you want to.
No. Yeah, you're getting told that. I can't even imagine the things that you got to go through to release on a label as big as Brokaw. And I'm sure they're not like taking too much creative control. I'm sure they listen to the songs, they like it. But as far as like, I don't know, I don't want to speak for it. But yeah, man, like kind of like I said earlier, if you want to be like everyone else, then act like everyone else. Like everyone sends to labels. That's what I see in the music scene. Like, and I refuse to be like everyone else, dude. Like everyone's just like, send my song to a bunch of labels. Hopefully they think I'm good enough. And I'm just like, okay, like you're just fucking yourself. So you're fucking your self-esteem. You're fucking yourself. Like you're asking for random people that you don't know for validation on your art. Like that's crazy to me. Like, so yeah, I will with Bull Collective because I love those dudes. But yeah, dude, like I refuse to act like everyone else just like sends labels and hopes for the best. I'm like, no, like everything's going to be on my shit. Like everything you see is going to be like it's going to be themed. Like there's going to be like a story. My SoundCloud, my discography, like I have a playlist on my SoundCloud that says discography. And yeah, dude, it's just cool to like see those songs and they all have something to do with each other. Like they're the same. I don't know. Like not the same theme, but they all have like the similar like grayed out artwork and like the weird texture. And like you can all tell they're my songs. And yeah, I like having that. Like, being able to like, this is mine. Like I did this exactly how I wanted to. I didn't just follow the masses, you know, like, and that's either going to work for me or it's not. Like, and dude, I would rather it not work for me than me blow up because I sold myself to like this game. Like, so I would rather just not make it and keep doing my thing. I'll be the old guy that's fucking sending my songs to people like, yo, check out this new song I made. Like, you just doing it for myself, you know?
I'm getting up there in the years. I feel like I'm starting to be one of those little guys. But honestly, like, I would love to be like 60 with like gray hair, like long gray hair, like on the deck. Like, I feel like that'd be the vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Some wizard fucking vibe. So, like, I don't care how long it takes me. Like, I'm going to keep grinding at this.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with releasing on labels. It's just not something that I really want to do very much. Like, I think my plan is to release as many songs on like my own pages and shit. And then when I have like a really good following, then maybe try to expand it a little bit more by reaching out to labels.
Yeah.
You know,
it's all about finding a label you can partner with. Like, it shouldn't be like please have me. It should be like yo, I fuck with the song. Like, yo, I fuck with what you're doing. Like,
I almost want like labels to like reach out to me. Like, hey, we make something for us.
Exactly. Dude, I sent my melodic EP to what's that label called? I feel bad that I don't remember. It's what Park Breezy, Altlow or something. And I really admire them, dude. So even though I'm talking all this shit about labels, I love what they do. And I make, like, you probably haven't heard a lot of it, but I make like very vibey, like down tempo funky music, dude. And I have like a whole EP of like down tempo funky, soft, like vibey music. Kind of if you think of like Thought Process or like Feel in those guys, like very heavy with the groove, very heavy with the drums. But yeah, I'm like, yo, I think this would fit y'all's thing a lot. So like I sent I send it to them, but only because I respect them and I admire what they do. And even with that being said, even though I respect them and admire what they do, if they hit me back and they're just like, this is how it's going to be, da, 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 and that's it. It's like, no, like,
never mind.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'll really sit on my shit. Like, yeah, I'm a control freak, dude. Like, and I always will be. I've just accepted that. And I tell people that before I work with them. I'm like, hey, man, like, if I start like overstepping a little bit, like, that's just me trying to like really make.
I think we've had one of those conversations.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, we hopped on Discord and I was like,
that.
yeah, I'm like,
that's what I told you.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And yeah, I'm wild with it. Like, I definitely want everything to be exactly how I want it to be, which is why I don't like doing B2Bs. Like, I avoid B2Bs pretty much at all costs. I'm just like, man, if you see me in B2Bs, like my energy level goes from here to here. Like, I just can't feel like myself.
I don't really like backpacks either, but I will say, like, if I with time beforehand to like get our set down, like how we want it, then I'll be like, yeah, I'm down. Yeah. But I'm never just gonna like hop into a back-to-back and like hope for the best, you know?
Yeah. See, I don't have anyone that set builds, or I haven't met anyone yet that set builds like me that I've had the opportunity to B2B with. Everyone that like I B2B with, it's just like, we're good DJs, come on. Like, no, we're not gonna I'm not gonna come over and set build with you because I'm fucking like, I think the energy drops off a little here. I think we need to like do, and that's like, Jesus Christ, bro. Like, we just B2B and have fun? Like, so that's kind of what I do now. Like, I only B2B on like, if it's late at an after party and me and the boys are bowling and we just hop up there and it's like, all right, like this is an impromptu B2B. Like, that's fun. But anything planned is just not my move anymore. Just because I know that no one's gonna like take the time to set build with me. Like anyone, and then it turns into me being a control freak and maybe being a dick where I'm just like, hey man, what's up? Question mark. Like, like haven't heard from you in a day or two. But what about our set? Like, so I just avoid that. I'm like, I know how to get. Like, I'll just keep doing it.
Have you ever thought of like starting your own label by any chance?
Maybe that'll come in the future, but no, I don't really have any interest in it. Like, I'm very like focused on me right now, like, and focused on the people that are in my circle. But yeah, man, maybe one day, like if my shit gets to where I want it and I want it to like live on, then I will start a label. But again, man, I can't be like everyone else. It can't be for the same reasons everyone else makes a label, because everyone makes a label. They're like, oh, I want all this shit to be under me. And it's like, I don't know, it's kind of selfish. Like, it's like, oh, like I'm going to have other people release their songs under my stuff. So I think before a label, I may do a collective where it's like, a bunch of homies. But before I do that, man, I gotta like get to where I need to be, because I will not be chill. Like, if I started a collective now, I would just be way over the top, like, just because I'm so like hyper focused on getting shit done. But once I get like maybe a little older and I calm down a little bit, I think I'll be able to be like, let's start a label. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm chilling. Like, let's focus on the label. Like, let's focus on y'all. Like, let's focus on the collective. Like, I think I would do it for that reason. But yeah, I don't think I would do it until I'm done worrying about myself. Like, right now, I'm just so focused on like this project. So it's going to be really hard for me to like, it wouldn't be fair to them. Like, I'm like, hey, join my collective while I focus all my energy on me. Like, so maybe one day.
The reason why I say that is because I see that the people at the top of the game, like whether it be like Zedstead and Deadbeats, Skrillex, Osla, that's it.
However you pronounce it, yeah, the getter one.
Liquid Stranger, Decline, even like what's his name, Subtronics and Cyclops are here.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like that's a really good way of going about it for some reason. Like, there's some sort of correlation there.
Yeah,
like,
I think it's too late. I think they already did it. I think we gotta find something else. Like it is, like you said, like you look at the best guys and that is what they're doing. But if you notice, like Cyclops Recording, Subtronics is one of the best, dude. And Cyclops Recording as a label doesn't get the love that Deadbeats does, just because he's kind of like
You think he was late?
He was late, dude. And no matter how good he is, like, I think that labels like that are just doing it because it was a really cool idea. Like when
You might be right.
yeah, like Deadbeats first started, like everyone's like, oh, these guys are killing it. I want to release on their label so bad. And then now everyone has a label, bro. Like I'm sure the hometown DJs that have labels, and like you want to be part of my label, like and yeah. So even like Cyclops Recording is a good example, bro. They released some good shit on there. Like not hating on what they're doing, but I don't think it gets the same kind of love that like Deadbeats or Wakan did because they just did that shit at the right time. They were innovative. They're like, we're gonna do something different, and now everyone's like, we're gonna do something just like they did, and it's not gonna be as good. Like,
well, what about just playing like devil's advocate here? What if you don't do it necessarily to like have like people like under you or whatever? I could have said that better, but
yeah, I know
like,
know.
What if you do it just to like kind of like start a business and be able to like have like tax write-offs on like your music expenses?
Yeah, I wish I was less dumb about that kind of stuff, and like I don't understand that kind of stuff very well. So yeah, sounds cool. Like if having a label would be your way of doing, what do they call that? Like when you're like your own business, like you get your
LLC,
LLC or something. Like yeah, if you're able to like do that, then yeah, that's cool. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like you could still do that without the label part of it. It'd just be like out in like Brokaw, like an LLC, and I don't know. I might have had to do that with some of the gigs that I've gotten, where they're like, no, you're gonna have to write this on your taxes. Like I'm just like, shit, okay, like this is, I guess shit's getting serious now. Like, so yeah, man, I gotta get better with that stuff now that I think about it, because I'm pretty clueless when it comes to taxes. I go to turbotax.com and just like type in shit. So 10
buttons.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how much money you owe, or this is how much money you made.
Right. It's like, all right, I'll go cry now. No, yeah. So the label thing, I never thought about it much, but I'm thinking about it more now that you mentioned it, and I think something like that would be cool. But man, like, I just want to keep doing my own thing. I just want to keep like seeing my homies do their own thing. Like Mikey's doing something different with Orbital Sound, and like that dude.
Dude, that song you put out,
yeah,
first song, like even just in general, like that's an amazing, really dope song.
Yeah.
But like, it makes it even greater when you're like, damn, that's his first song that he released. Like, fuck. Like,
yeah,
that's really good.
I'm glad, like, dude, he had so much confidence in it too. When he sent it to me, and he's like, hey man, like, this is gonna be the first song I released. I'm really proud of it. I think it's good. Please give me any feedback you can. And I listened to it. I'm like, pretty much it. And I like gave him like some tiny notes, and like, yeah, dude, he cleaned that shit up, mixed and mastered it himself. Put it out, dude. Got 1,000 views on it for his first release. I'm just, yeah, bro. I'm so proud of that kid. Like, and he's gonna be so good in a couple of years. Like, he's good now. Like, he's at producing. I would say he's good. I think in a couple of years he's gonna be absolutely insane with the way he works, and like some of his ideas that he sends me, dude. I'm just like, yo, like that would be a banger. If like it's all about getting out of your own way. Because Mikey is, so good because he throws all these ideas out at once, but like you got to take away some ideas to make it like a full cohesive song. So like he's gonna figure that out, dude. And when he does, it's just gonna be fucking off to the races for that kid. Like he's, him, Cade, Tugs, they're like my top 3 boys that I'll just be like, and have feel like, yo, like check out these guys, like they're fucking killing it. But yeah, dude, fucking love to see people doing their own thing. Like Mikey's doing his own sound system, doing his own shit. I'm just like, fuck yeah. Like I'm gonna keep doing my own thing. And I think people like to join together, which is cool, but I like to keep like a little bit of distance and just like, I'm gonna do my shit, you do your shit, you do your shit, and I'll help you any way I can. But yeah, once, I feel like once, kind of like living in the house together, you'll get along so great. Then you move in together and you're just like, yo, we take out the fucking trash. Like, and so it's like, you don't, well, you want to keep a little bit of space, like, hey, do your thing. I'll help where I can.
Dude, I can't always put out the trash, bro. All right.
You got to take out the trash, dog.
We both work night shift. And if we put the fucking trash out at night, there's these stupid fucking raccoons that live right over there, and they get our trash and they fucking make a mess out there.
It sounds like your girl said this to you before. Man. It's true though. Like I've definitely, that's why I try to just do my own thing and then just give people love on your own project. And anytime someone wants to like join on something, I'm like, okay, like what's the purpose of this? Are we just doing this for whatever, or do we have a good idea and play? Yeah. And so yeah, like I love collabing. Like collabs are fun.
I gotta get better at collabing.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is. It's just like so fucking hard for me.
It's hard
because like you get someone else's idea and you're like, okay, like what were they going for here? Like this is tight, but like I don't know like how to like expand upon this. You know, like, and I don't know. It's something that I know I'll get better at the more I do it. But you know, right now I kind of suck.
Yeah, it's hard, dude. Like
honestly, like I have like a few like really decent ideas that are unfinished songs, and I reached out to a buddy of mine and he said he would love to work on it and like finish it, and I was like, dude, here, like you can have this. I can't fucking finish it. You can release it on your own shit. Like,
that's what Sickish did with Old School, actually.
For real?
Yeah, he played that on his unreleased mix. Like the first drop that everyone thinks that I made because it has my sound in it. Bro, Sickish wrote me on Facebook one day and he's like, hey, how do you make that Zippery sound? Is it just a sine wave with some bandpass? And I literally sent him a message on how to make the Serum patch, but I think he already had it figured out before he even messaged me. He was just like confirming. And I'm just like, yeah, it's all way with the bandpass and like an LFO on the course pitch. And dude, the next thing you know, I hear that song and I kind of like, this was the best song in the mix. Like, I fucking love that song. He's like, it's going to die on my hard drive. Like, you want to finish it? And I'm like, no way. Like, I've looked up to that dude for a long time, man. Like, I used to ask that dude for music before.
He's killing the game, man.
Yeah, dude. Before I ever started producing, I was asking that dude for music, like, so I could play it out at sets. And so, like, that was a very big moment for me. Like, that was the first time someone I admired was like, yo, I want to work on a track with you. And I'm just like, fuck yeah. Like, this is sick. And
he's a good dude, too.
Yeah. And that's, again, like, being likable is so huge. Like, people only want to support you if you're a good person. Like, you can be the baddest motherfucker ever, but if you're just like, fuck you to everyone and I'm the shit, fuck everyone else, like, yeah, we don't want that guy to succeed. Yeah. But like, yeah, if you got it all, bro, and also you're a good person, it's just like, that's what it is. Like, people want to support good people. People don't want to support cocky assholes. And you can be a cocky asshole, but swallow that shit and like
be all by yourself.
Yeah, be a
lonely road.
Yeah, be a cocky asshole like to yourself. Cause I am a cocky asshole. That shit's like you ain't gonna hear me just like talking shit. But like I'll be honest with it, like oh, I think I'm really fucking good. And I'm gonna have self-belief, but not to the point where you're like being a dick. You know, just have a little bit of like social awareness, like trying to. You see it, new DJs a lot of times. They mix a couple songs together and they're just like,
I'm next up.
I'm the shit. Like, and I'm like dude, you gotta be humble.
I love that Old School song. Yeah. When I heard that, first time I heard it, I listened to it, I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I listened to it like over and over again. I was like, man, it's like really, really creative.
It's a different track for sure.
I feel like you put it in your set to like switch with the vibe.
Yeah.
And, like, everyone's like looking at each other, like grinning, like having fun and shit.
Yeah, it's a very dancey song. And I like Sickish's drop so much. My drop sounds like Sickish, his drop sounds like me. Bro, I love it. Like that first drop sounds like I love that first drop so much. Honestly, I like the second drop that I made, but I worked on it for so long that I'm still in the I hate it mode. So like I like his drop and
it'd be like that.
Yeah,
you like on a song and then you're like you just hear it a million times, and at first you think it's great, and other people might think it's great, but then like you just keep on listening to it. Damn,
I hate every song I release.
I get to that point.
Exactly, you have to or you don't put the proper time in. Like you got to do it with the mix down at least. When the writing, you don't want to hate it, or you're just gonna fuck up your writing. But on the mix down, in my opinion, maybe I'll get better and I won't think like this, but you got to put in like the fucking time on the mix down or it's just not going to be as good as it could be. Like, and you got to do it to the point where you're just like, hate this. Like, this sucks. Like, I don't want to work on this mid bass anymore. Like, and like you export two different ones with just a slightly different thing change and
one little difference that no one's gonna be able to catch.
Yeah, but dude, that may be the difference on why someone feels a song in the background and it's like, what's that? Mm-hmm. And the difference of someone just being like mid bass, whatever, you know, you can hear it. Like, think of your favorite songs. Like, there's a feeling, there's a way like the mix is done where everything pops out nicer. Maybe the pad hits you in a certain way. Maybe like the vocals just are so nice and like everything sounds good. And that's what does it. Like, it's that extra mile, that polished, beautiful song that if you took all the mixing and shit out of it, it would be cool, but it'd be like, yeah, you know what it would sound like. It would just sound like basses, like shit not glued together. And yeah, dude, to get like those professional tracks that like make you turn your head, I think that's where like the hard work comes in, where you're just mixing down a track for like 8 hours straight and you're just like, this sucks.
I made a personal decision. I don't mix any of my songs anymore.
Yeah.
I want to get to that point. Like, I'm in Seth Drake. Do you know who that is?
No, he's the dude that mixed and mastered with your songs, though, right?
No, I can't afford him. Like, he's like one of the best in our genre.
Gotcha.
But I'm in one of his like Discord groups,
and
I pay like $4 a month to like see all his videos and stuff.
Oh, that's dope.
And it's something that like, because I really do want to be able to like mix and master my own songs one day.
Yeah.
But just like where I'm at right now, like I got to the point where I was like, okay, these songs are getting really cool, but the mix down, it just sucks.
Yeah, you can't
it doesn't make it, like nothing pops. Like,
yeah.
But then I found this guy, shout out to the Lion's Den. He does a really good job and he's very affordable.
Yeah.
And I was like, he killed it on Spirals.
Yeah, he did.
And Spirals blew up.
Good.
And I was like, all right, like you're my guy, and so I can figure this shit out for myself.
Yeah, dude. And what you need to do is take his mixed and mastered version of your song, put it as a reference track, and try to get your song to sound like that. Yeah. And if that's what you like if like you really dig his mix and master, then I dig him too. I think he does really good work. That's something that if I ever get my shit mixed and mastered, it will only be for that reason, because I want to see what someone else does with my song. And I'm like, ooh, the pad's warmer here than mine. And I may be calling that dude up, like, yo, how did you do that? Like, and he may tell me he boosted some frequencies here or here. Man, you only get to that point by just listening and listening and listening. And I think one really important thing is listening how two things sound together. Like, I'll just solo like one element with the other element, and I listen to those two together, and I'm just like, okay, try to make each one have its own space the best possible, glue them together, make them sound really good. And then you do that with two channels, and you find two other things to solo together. You get those two things sounding really good. You don't do it with the whole song. I never mix down the whole song at once. You got to mix down portions. Like, got to get the drum sounding good with the subs. You got to get, if you have a mid bass layer, you got to get your sub and your mid bass glued together. You got to get your vocals sitting on top of everything. And there has to be room for them. And so you'll be soloing your vocals with your mid bass, making sure your mid bass ain't covering that. And I think it's just mixing is just the relationship of all these sounds. And bro, I've honestly fell in love with mixing too. Like, it's just so much fun for me, and I hate it for sure. Like, it drives me fucking crazy, but it is so much fun to like get like this thing that sounds good sounding great, and you're like that's exactly how I wanted it. Like,
that's fair.
So I will send my shit out when I have enough money to get it mixed and mastered, but only for a reference. Like, and I may use it if it sounds better than mine. Like, I'm not against it, but like I want to hear how someone else mixes and masters my song and see if what I'm missing, or maybe I'm not missing anything and like I'm doing good, and shit comes back and I'm like, I like mine better. Like, but I think it's good to like not be closed-minded, like, and definitely reach out to people like, yo, will you mix and master my song? And then listen to it and be like, what's the difference between his song or his version of my song and my song? And yeah, dude, it's really important. Also, like, ask questions, man. Just like hit those people up. I'm sure they're more than happy to like share with you, especially if you ask specifics. You're like, yo, how'd you get my bass sound so like loud and clear?
I can get the levels right. I can at least do that.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, when it comes to like the more like technical shit, like gluing shit together, compression, like all that jazz, like the super technical shit. That's where I struggle.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I know enough technical shit to get by. Like I get better every day, but you don't want to like overdo it to the point where you're learning some technical shit that has diminishing returns. Like if you learn a bunch of technical shit and your song doesn't sound better afterwards, then you wasted your time.
True.
Like if I will be literal as fuck about it. Like if I'm working on mixing, I'll be like, I remember I was working on a song and it had a saxophone in it. And I was just like, how to mix a saxophone in Ableton. And like as specific as I could be. And bro, there was 20 videos on how to mix a saxophone in Ableton. I watched like 10 of them. And I noticed there was a common theme in a few of them. I noticed this dude had a little sauce, this dude had a little sauce. And bro, I just hyper focused on like how to get the saxophone sounding as good and mixed in as possible. And yeah, you know, like there was a couple like technical things, but I wasn't like hardcore learning compression. I'm like, I knew just enough compression to make this shit sound good. And then I know just enough EQ work to make this shit sound good. Like I'm not, and one day I'll understand it all. And I'll be like, oh, like I know exactly how every little thing works. But for now, I do just enough. Like sound design is if I was on a video game, my sound design would be at the bottom and all my other shit would be at the top. Like that's definitely like my weak point. But no one ever says that because I do, my shit sounds good, but I only sound design enough to make it sound good. Like I don't sit there and I don't spend hours on sound design usually. Like I pull up a few basic things and I'm like, good. I make the song and I'll write it and they sound all right. And then I'll make it a little better, polish it up a little bit, add a little bit here. Maybe I'll come back, I need a little bit more here. And then it sounds good. But yeah, it's all about like those, not making it complicated. Like just being super simple with it. It's like, this sounds good. Okay, cool. And then as your song grows, basic shapes, dude. You're just like throwing small adjustments on it. Because if you do a big change, you're going to change the whole song. And then what are you doing at that point? Like, are you trying to write a song? Then you're doing the wrong thing. Like if you change a big element of your song, then I would tell you to save this project and open a new project and maybe just use that one as a reference because you're changing your whole song at this point. And you're going to drive yourself crazy doing that. You're like, oh, maybe this isn't what I wanted. Like have an idea, stick to it, polish that shit out and boom. Like,
dude, I love sound design. That's probably like my favorite part. I love getting to Serum and like just twisting knobs until I get something cool. I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude, you make some really good sounds, especially like I like your mid bass sounds a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, do you layer a sub with your mid bass usually? Yeah,
I always layer a sub now. I used to not. It used to be built in.
Yeah,
but then I feel like it's like less control, and also now that I'm like sending my songs off, I feel like it's better for like the engineer to have like a separate sub so that he can do exactly what he wants with it.
Yeah, he doesn't have to like do like band, like multi-band shit where you like separate the shit and like boost and do all that shit.
Yeah.
I've always had a dedicated sub until I started making like these deep dub tracks like last weekend, I think. It
was just like all sub.
Yeah, and dude, my mid bass and my mid bass is in my sub. Like for the deep dub tracks.
And it works.
Dude, yeah, like the thing is, in my opinion, I'm not a big deep dub fan, so I'm probably talking shit. But for my opinion, a deep dub only sounds good like when, I don't know, like the reason deep dub works is because there's so much character about the bass. Like I don't think deep dub works if you just use a basic sub sign. Like it was like boom, and then you're like, okay, well, if you're so focused on low end, the low end's pretty basic. And so what I do is I find patches that have a sick sub built into it, but it's like fucking mixed in with this crazy texture on the sub. And then you just make sure that I'll mute everything in the Serum patch but the sub and make sure that's sounding good. And then I'll add everything else back in. I click the other oscillators and all that shit. And then you get that thing sounding good for 4 bars. And from there, I would just like do like small adjustments with the LFOs to like make that bass build. But what that does, getting back to like why I did that, the sub is so glued to the mid bass because it's the same thing. Like, and you're not going to hear any like it's, I don't know, there's no like gluing to be done with the mid bass and sub. They're together, they're one. Like, and yeah, as long as like you check the sub by itself and you're like, okay, like it's a good sub, add that other shit in and let that be one bass. Like, it ain't gonna hurt nothing. If it sounds good, it sounds good. And I will still use dedicated subs, but if I'm doing like a bass song where there's like maybe the bass like whoa 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 whoa, like I don't know, I don't want to make a mid bass and then make a sub and like match the wobble of the sub with the wobble of my mid bass, and then like fuck all that. Like I'll just make sure my sub's really good in my patch and then make everything wobble.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, such inside baseball conversation. Only nerds are gonna like it.
You need another one?
Yeah, thanks, dude. I chug drinks.
I want to start branching out more. Like I keep on telling myself this, and then like all my songs just like turn out the same.
Felt.
But yeah, I want to definitely start diving into deep dub, and then lately I talked about this on Discord with you, but like, I also want to start getting into like drum and bass. I found a song that I actually liked, and I was like,
What is it?
Chasing Status, Batadon or something like that.
I heard it, bro. I'm a recent, like, I think a year and a half ago, I started getting into drum and bass. You know who Parker is, Radium?
No.
He's a guy from Louisville, man. He's super nice guy, very professional, just a friendly motherfucker. But he was the first drum and bass set that I saw that was like good. Like we played it in a Louisville show together. And dude, he's just all about drum and bass. And bro, he played before me, and I'm just like, I was always talking shit about drum and bass. I'm just like,
yeah, same.
roll my eyes.
Same.
Really roll my eyes. All right. And then bro, he played it, and it had a good theme, and I'm just like, this fucking rocks. Like I fuck with this hard. And then who's the other guy? I may be pronouncing this wrong, or I may be saying the wrong name, but Justin Hawks at Bigfoot Electro, I think, played a full drum and bass set. And I just remember I was like, okay, you got me. Like, this is really good. And
I don't think I could ever do. I couldn't stay for the whole drum and bass set.
I thought that myself, dude. But like the thing is you got to make it like not in your face and annoying. Like it has to be like, it has to flow with the song, and then you don't even think that it's drum and bass. The reason you wrote Your Eye is because there's so much shitty drum and bass songs that are just like,
yeah,
and then you're just like,
yeah,
I'm so tired of hearing that. But bro, there's people that do it so good. Where like you don't even know that you're dancing to drum and bass because it's so mixed into the song, and you're just like, this is a great song. And then you could tell when people are just trying to drum and bass, and you could tell when people make a really good drum and bass song. And I think Amanu is one of my favorite like drum and bass people. He doesn't only produce drum and bass, but the drum and bass he produces is just so unique to him. And yeah, dude, I'm a big fan of drum and bass, and I never thought I'd ever say that in my life. But yeah, dude, when it's done well, it's done well. Like same with house music. Like I dig house music sometimes too. Like
same here.
Yeah.
I never thought I would
right.
say that. And then so like when COVID hit, I was doing like a bunch of streaming.
Yeah.
And I was just mixing like dubstep and like, music. And then it got to the point where I was like, damn, I feel like depressed. Because all this like in the minor key, like most of it is.
Right. Yeah.
And so I was like, I got to switch this up. So I downloaded some house. And
nice.
I would like switch it up. I was like,
bro, and then you're like at your house like doing the finger wave.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Dude, the house makes you feel sexy. It's nice. Like I love a good house show. Like it makes me think of Jungle 51. I think it was called in Okeechobee. Like it was like the side stage, and I didn't like house then, but I would go just for the vibe because like it was dark. There'd be some dude that you didn't know who the fuck it was DJing, and then there'd just be a bunch of people like no one smiling. Everyone's just like, and dude, it was amazing. Like I was like, it's just such a weird vibe, but I love it. Like I couldn't get myself away from it. And then I found house songs that I like, and I'm just like, okay, like I fuck with this. Like yeah. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much like most genres of music. I feel like, cause I had a joke about how shitty deep dub is. I've always like talked shit on deep dub, and I wrote those deep dub tracks and I shared them on my Instagram. I had like 3 people hit me up like, I thought you hated it. And I'm just like, okay.
All the deep dub stuff just came out.
Yeah, dude, they were waiting for me to like it. They're just like, I thought you hated it. I'm like, don't hate when I do it. Like, but realistically, I'm like, I don't hate it. Like, that was a joke. Like, it was a joke based on truth. Like, there's a lot of dub songs that are like rhythm. Womp, 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 womp. And then I'm just like, not interested. Like, you couldn't possibly get me interested.
So we were talking about house a little while ago. Have you heard of Nico? Like, what's their name?
Nico P or something like that? Or
I don't know. It's something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I really fucking like their shit.
Yeah.
I don't know who they are.
That like makes like heavier house, right?
Yeah. It's
like face house. Hype as fuck. Yeah.
I saw one of their sets in Nashville. Like, dude, I had a great time. It was fucking awesome.
If someone pulls off a house set, right? Like, you have so much fun. Everyone's dancing. Everyone's happy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. I always think, like, there's a reason everything exists. Like, any music that you want to shit on, there's a reason it exists, and you just haven't been in the situation to understand it.
Yeah.
Like,
it's very good. People like it for a reason.
Yeah, dude, shout out Jimmy Buffett. I'm a big Jimmy Buffett fan. Like, I grew up with my grandparents, bro. We'd be on a boat. We'd lived in Kentucky, and I fucking just sitting there, like, wasting away in Margaritaville, just sitting on Kentucky on some sandy beach. And I'm just like, bro, of course Jimmy Buffett smacks. Because he's like, we're all not thinking about anything but drinking this margarita in front of this lake, sitting with family. This song describes exactly what we're feeling. And, bro, if I never, like, was in that environment, I would never like Jimmy Buffett. You know, like, I wouldn't listen to Jimmy Buffett. I wouldn't relate at all. Wasting away and I'm like, huh? Like, I've lived in Jimtown and like Evansville. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. But I like lived in Kentucky, so like I relate with that. Like, I'm like, you know, like Zach Brown band, like I relate with that music. I'm just like, oh, like fucking toes in the water, ass in the sand. I fucking get that vibe. Like,
there's good and bad.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. And the reason you don't like it is because you don't understand it. Mm-hmm. And I realized that with rap. Like with the new rap, I've realized that I didn't like new rap for a long time, and now I love like finding new rap. And they don't rap like about all the good shit. Like old rappers were like lyricists, like they said some deep shit. Yeah, but the thing is, bro, sometimes they would just be talking. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't even have a motif with their voice. But what the new rappers got, it doesn't matter what they say, their voice sounds cool.
Yeah, that's true.
And it doesn't matter what they say, they have like this sick ass flow. Yeah, and the beat. Right. And then some of them say cool shit, some of them say absolutely stupid shit. And you're just like,
there was one period of rap, like 2017, when it was just you literally couldn't understand anything that they were saying.
Name an artist, let's shit on some people.
Fucking
Chief Keef. Nah.
Chief Keef, he produced some bangers.
I know, I like him.
Sure. I'm trying to think of this one dude. He was on the Freshman like freestyle with like him, Lil Dicky, and for some reason, dude, I'm just blanking on all these people's names.
He was on the Cyphers.
Yeah. It was almost embarrassing.
And he probably had colored hair.
Maybe.
I know I've watched a few Cyphers where I'm just like.
But then like Lil Dicky comes out and like fucking smashes it. Like, best one out of like all four of them.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking funny. Like I love seeing I love Aries likes the radio. My son, he likes, and I don't listen to the radio. I drive in complete silence, dude. Like I don't have anything that hooks up to my speakers. Which I was driving with a buddy and I was like making him play all my songs through the car because I never get to car test my songs. Mm-hmm. And but I was like, so I'm always driving in silence. And one day my son was just like, "Can you turn on the radio?" I'm not sure. Turn on Hot 96, which is like the main radio station in our city. And dude, I'm just constantly looking in the mirror and seeing what he likes. Because a country song will come on, I'm like, and then another song will come on, and he'll be like, just staring at me, like, this ain't very good. Like, and I love to just see that dude because he's a 7-year-old. So it's like, he doesn't have any like
pre-biases.
Yeah, he doesn't have anybody saying this song sucks or this song's fire. He's literally just listening to it and going, yeah, dude. And I love that. Like,
it's the blessing out of sun.
Yeah,
like that perspective, I guess.
Yeah, he told me the other day, we listened to like 3 songs in a row. I was like, can we listen to a song where a guy's singing? And I'm like, oh, we have listened to like 3 female vocalists in a row, haven't we? And so I had to switch it to like a rock station and like, so like those dudes singing. But yeah, like hearing like watching kids listen to music, it's crazy, dude. Because you're
They're
just
the
like,
future, man.
yeah, because you're just like, what does their total, like you said, non-biased. There's no like input where you're just like, you have someone like, oh, I want to like this song because that's what's cool. Like, in as much as you would like to say that's not true, the reason that people start liking songs is because they get hyped, and then you're like, oh, I want to check it out too. And I did, like a 7-year-old just literally like, what's the song? I fuck with this song. Like, yeah. So I like watching that shit, dude. Just like seeing what he digs and like trying to like, it makes me make remixes of it, like songs he likes too. Like, hey, it's like, can we make our own version of like this song? I'm like, yeah, like for sure. And like we'll like do like little producing sessions together.
That's awesome.
So yeah, super fun, man.
Word, man. I think this was a really dope conversation. I'm glad to
Had a blast, man.
have you on. You want to plug yourself real quick?
Yeah. Name's Brokaw. You can check me out on like SoundCloud or any of that stuff. Spotify. I have a My Life. The EP is called My Life. It's coming out September 22nd or whatever weekend that is. And yeah, it's like my favorite stuff that I've like put together. It means a lot. So yeah, I'll have that shit coming out, and have playing Absolute Nirvana September 15th. And then this will probably be out by then. So I'm also playing direct support for Vector in October. So
Fuck yeah.
That'll be cool too. So this is the first time I'm announcing it. I think they'll have it announced by the time this comes out. But yeah, super hyped for that, man.
Hell yeah. That's what's up, man. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, bro. Thank you, man. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Yeah, I was